Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Straight Facts Commentary where I give you my unpopular opinions in everything pop culture. So please stick around and subscribe for more. Hey y'all, I am back again with another video, and in today's video we're going to be speaking about someone you probably haven't heard about in a long time. Her name is Neon Hitch, the singer-songwriter, okay? So we're going to get into some things about her, okay? Like, comment, share, subscribe if you have not already, and let's go ahead and get into this video, okay? So some of you guys probably clicked on this video just out of recognizing her face, but probably aren't even entirely sure who she is, but you know that she looks familiar, right? You guys remember her, don't you? Most of us back then could recognize Neon Hitch from her reddish orangish hair, as well as her very distinct singing voice, her breakout moments back in 2011 2012, and her kind of grungy indie hippie girl aesthetic that she had seemed to carry. People were convinced and were gearing her up to kind of be the next Kesha. She kind of had a very similar aesthetic and a very similar kind of feel to her brand. In case some of you guys are still not fully sure or don't fully remember, take a listen to this. Keys under the mat to our front door. One more chance to hold you close. Let me stop. But oh my gosh, that song was so incredibly nostalgic. Like, just hearing it gives me goosebumps. It gives me chills because it takes me back to a much simpler time in my life. Okay, 2011, 2012 takes me back to a much happier time in my life, if I'm gonna be honest. We should also recognize and remember Neon Hitch for her song F You Betta. I'm not gonna say it all, but let's just give you a little teaser. You know I could F you better, I am not the singer, obviously, as you can tell, but I'm just trying to jog your memory. So back then in that time, we were probably thinking, gosh, Neon Hitch is probably about to be the next big thing, right? Because she was all over the radio. She had a unique and distinct image as well as a unique singing style, and she was alongside some of our favorite artists back in that time. Her song Ass Back Home with Gym Class Heroes did peak at the charts on the Billboard Hot 100. We do have here, according to Google, that it hit the Billboard Hot 100 at number 51, but then other articles that I have read shows that it did actually hit number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it was a top 20 hit. So I'm going to go with the top 20 hit because that sounds the most accurate from my memory. With all things considered, what happened to Neon Hitch? Because she just seemed to be on a winning streak at a certain point in time. I don't know why or how she popped into my head when coming up with the idea for this video, but I randomly thought about her and I went scouring the internet to try to find out any information about what kind of happened with her music career and why she isn't anywhere to be found. And there really isn't any information on Neon Hitch like that. I looked all over Google, I looked all over TikTok, I looked all over Instagram. There isn't even really a lot of videos of her. There are some interviews that I could find back in the prime of her career, but as far as her like explaining anything that happened or her kind of talking about why she fell from grace on like a formal interview, I was having trouble finding that. She doesn't have any recent interviews. All her interviews are from 9, 10, 11 years ago, and it's nothing of which I can really use to try to come up with what the heck happened to her or why she's not around anymore. But I did find out some information that's just here on Google for us. Here on HuffPost, it reads, Neon Hitch leaving major label deal is such a blessing. In 2012, Neon Hitch topped the charts around the world with Ass Back Home. Her massive collaboration with Gym Class Heroes, peaking at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, the song threw her career into high gear. Unfortunately, solo success was not as quick to materialize. After signing with Warner Brothers Records in 2010, Neon Hitch thought she had made it. Like most young artists, the British pop star felt singing with a major label guaranteed success, and in many ways it did, but she soon found that there's a downside to being under contract. Everyone has this dream growing up, like, I'm going to be signed to a record label, I'm going to be famous, I'm going to have my own perfume, Hitch shared during a recent telephone interview. It's not like that. Hitch followed with F You Betta and Gold, both which topped the US club charts and were supposed to be included on her much anticipated full length debut, but as fans anxiously waited, her label faltered, ultimately deciding to scrap the entire project. That, she says, is when the downside of being with a label became clear. If you write your own music, then you sign to a major label. It's a blessing, of course, admitted Hitch, who performed in Santa Clara Friday, May 23rd. Somebody's appreciating you, which is great, but at the same time, it's also really restrictive. As Warner Bros. Tried to figure out how to position Neon in the music market, the singer grew increasingly antsy. As someone who genuinely enjoys interacting with fans and releasing new material, I'm always creating new music, always working like a dog, she says. The label's start and stop mentality grew frustrating. I put my heart and soul into something I believe in, but I have to give it to someone else for approval, she told me. And you're telling me what I feel is wrong? How is what I feel wrong or right? It just is. That's where I really had an issue. Warner Brothers finally unveiled her Happy Neon tape remix early last year and followed with 301 to Paradise in January, but for Hitch, it was too little too late. I decided to take my freedom back, she said. I'm going to share my music with my fans all over the world whenever I want. Wow, that's a lot. That's powerful. Um, that's crazy. And it just goes to show that the music industry wants you to put out what they want you to put out because they want it to look good for their profit margin. They want it to look good for what they think that the people want to hear, not what you want to put out. So I wonder how many of our favorite artists are made to put out content or produce content, but they have other things that they'd like to speak on or other things that they'd like to say or other work that they'd like to put out that they can't. Because it has to be approved by major record labels and the people that are making the money off of you first and foremost. And that to me is just why the industry seems like a dirty game. Seems like a dirty, dirty game. And Neon Hitch seems to me that she saw through that and she decided that she didn't want to be a part of that. She wanted to be creatively free, and I totally respect her for that decision. And if you look up Neon Hitch today, she has like less than 100,000 followers on Instagram, like 50,000 followers. She doesn't have a lot of engagement at all. There's not a lot of people there, but the people who rock with her are there. The people who support her still after all of these years are still there. And, I'm sure she's just fine with that. I'm sure she's absolutely content with it. She's very low key. She has a baby. She documented a lot of her pregnancy, as I could see online and things like that. So I'm happy for her. If she feels like at the end of the day that it's better for her to be where she is now than where she was, kudos to her for that. But you guys let me know. This is what I could find on her. If you know any other information on her, feel free to leave it down below. But I love you guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.